Hey guys, welcome to episode number 48. Today's Friday, so it's Fan Friday, and I just wanted to introduce a quick little concept here. If you guys watched earlier this week, I received an Eheim Aquastyle 35-liter aquarium, and I asked for ideas as to what I could possibly do with that tank because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. Now it's a 9.25 gallon tank, so it's not very large. It's got the rounded corners on the front, and it's meant to be a nano aquarium. And I got a lot of good ideas. I've had some ideas of my own as well. And what I landed on was kind of three concepts, and I wanted your guys' opinion before I settled on a final concept. And here they are. The first one is plant focused. And what I mean by that is I want to, if I choose this option, I'm really going to focus on aquascaping. And the plants themselves are going to be the centerpiece of the aquarium. So what I would do here is use a nice big piece of driftwood, something with a lot of character. Maybe it's a piece I already have, maybe it's a piece I go out and find. But what I would probably do is throw in a handful of neon tetras, which seem to be, the standard fish that people use in an aquascaped, plant-focused, plant-centric aquarium. And then I'd put in things like Java fern, dwarf swords, baby tears, Anubias, and maybe some dwarf hairgrass. Some different size plants, some different shaped plants. But the overall idea is most of the tank would be planted, and it would be planted taller towards the back, and then you'd have the feature piece of driftwood, and then you'd have smaller plants towards the front. And that would allow the fish to kind of swim out front, and it would create a nice little planted habitat. I like this idea because of its simplicity, and also it would be really easy to maintain. Just 3 or 4 neon tetras in a 10-gallon tank, and the filter is cycling the entire volume of the tank 6 times an hour. It's not going to be a whole lot of maintenance. I would say probably only a couple gallons for a water change every 2 weeks would probably be fine for a tank setup like that. Now the next tank idea that I've kind of come up with is invertebrate focused, and what I mean by that is shrimp. Crystal red shrimp seem to be fairly popular these days, and they are very interesting to look at. The patterns are really beautiful, and I think that if I was to invest in some shrimp, these would probably be the ones, just because they have the most potential and they really do well in the nano habitat. And again, they don't take a whole lot of work to keep going. They do require high water quality, but with no fish in the tank and just the crystal red shrimp, that shouldn't be too hard to maintain. As I understand it, they'll kind of breed to the point where they take up the tank, and at that point I'd have to remove shrimp, or they just wouldn't really thrive much further. They've kind of got a saturation point, if you will. But what I would do here is I'd put some Java fern towards the back, maybe a few I'd put some Java moss again on a featured piece of driftwood, and I'd probably put a few Marimo balls of various sizes towards the front, just to kind of give an interesting habitat to look at, but not enough plant cover to really hide the shrimp themselves, because that would be the centerpiece of the aquarium. So I feel like that's a fairly solid second option. It's one of the ones that is becoming more popular these days. The plant focused aquarium is also popular, and I feel like these are two good, solid options for a freshwater habitat. And they would be fairly low maintenance. Now, the third one I have is fish focused, and what I mean by that is obviously, the tank is small, so you're not going to have a lot of fish. You're not going to be able to put in more than a handful of fish. And the larger the fish are, the rule is 1 inch of fish per gallon of water. I wouldn't want to go with more than two, medium-sized fish. And what I would do here is I'd actually make this a saltwater tank, and I'd get probably two Ocellaris clownfish, and I'd try to keep it simple by just picking up maybe 2 pieces of live rock, a piece that would act as a base, and another like a feature piece which would act as the top to that base. Maybe with a shelf that kind of reaches up towards the light. And what I would do is I'd put in an anemone for the clowns, and then I might have like a handful of shrimp or hermit crabs, or maybe a couple small invertebrates towards the bottom of the tank, just to kind of promote some activity on the bottom. And I mean, I might get polyps as a result of just having the live rock, and I think that would be fine as long as they don't overtake the tank. And who knows? I might be able to add a little bit more to that over time. But the general idea here is to create, kind of the perfect habitat for just two animals here, the two clownfish, and they do have a lot of character. So that would kind of be the quintessential Nano reef in a nutshell there. And I feel like that would probably be more work than these other two options, but it might be a whole lot more rewarding because it does focus on the fish, and it would be a lot more entertaining to watch. So those are the three kind of concepts that I've landed upon. If you guys have any input on, stocking each one of these options, if you think there's something better to put in these different ideas for tanks, definitely let me know. If you have any preference on one of these, definitely let me know, because I'll probably be going shopping within the next few days to the next week to start picking up some of this stuff. And I hope to get the tank cycling within the week, and then start to add stuff throughout the next couple weeks. So I hope to have the whole thing up and running within a few weeks. So plant focused, invert focused, or fish focused. Those are the three ideas. Let me know which one you guys like the most, and maybe I'll go that way. Alright guys, see you later.